Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. Thank you to Dr. Abir for inviting me. Thank you for Ling and ETH Riyadh for organizing this year again. So, Dr. Abir said, today is academic day. And I was immediately scared. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be academic at all. What I'm going to do instead is to tell you guys a bunch of stories. So my name is Sharene. I'm one of the co-founders of Takadao, originally from Singapore. So I am Chinese, so 大家好. I've been here in the Middle East since 2005. So I look the part. I was previously a founder of a tech startup called Mel2. We were acquired by IKEA from the region. And today, I am the co-founder of Takadao, and here I am in front of you. And very often, as one does when you hit the above 40 age group, you start to think about how did I get to where I am today? Like, what decisions in my life have brought me here to Saudi Arabia and to have founded this company today? So there are really three events that caused me and prompted me to start this company, Takadao. Now, the first one was a personal experience with death. We had a family friend, or really a family that was our friends. The kids were around the same age as ours. So it was a young family. I think at the time of the event, the oldest child was 12. The husband goes off for Umrah, so we were living in Ras Al Khaimah at the time. He drives with his friend, and on the way back, they're driving the car. It's a very long drive. The friend falls asleep at the wheel. They get into a car accident, and they die. It was incredibly unexpected. It was a shock, right? Young children. The wife was devastated. We find out about it. The next day, I go to the home of the wife because I wanted to show her my support. She was my friend. I went there, and subhanAllah, when I walked in the house, I was like, it was standing room only. Everyone was there. Everyone from the community, all her friends, all the people came to support her. And that was the thing that struck me that day. They brought money, they brought food, they brought toys for the kids, they brought job offers, they all wanted to help her. And it stayed in my mind till this day that when people need help, it's not the banks that help you, not the government, not the insurance company, it's the community. It's people you know who help you. So she survived, right? And trust me, it wasn't easy because even though she had the support of the community, everything had to come piecemeal. She didn't have a standing fund, as you would have if you were insured. All right, the next event in my life was the 2008 financial crisis. Now, I was sort of a new adult at the time that had a little bit of money, and I was starting to pay attention to what was going on with the stock market, right? And when Lehman Brothers went down, and when the housing bubble became so crazy that nobody could believe it and it all came crashing down, I was like, wait a second. Do these people actually know what they're doing? Did they just fall asleep at the wheel? Or was it just greed that drove them to ignore the fundamentals, play with people's money, and cause a Great Depression for, the Great Recession for the world? Now, it turns out it's the latter, right? Now, what is worse is the government then goes ahead and does what? They bail out the banks, and they print and they print and they print a ton of money to bail out the banks. And people are like, oh, it's good, they're doing something about it. What did they actually do? They made everything expensive for all the little guys who only held cash. So the rich got richer because they all had assets, so their assets appreciated against cash, and the poor got poorer because they only had cash and they were able to buy less and less every day because they kept printing money. Then guess what? COVID 2020. Again, more printing. One of our main investors, Tim Draper, he says, during COVID, I lost 15% of my wealth because of the printing of the government. I was like, okay, even the rich people are complaining now. So that really opened my eyes to what the blockchain and Bitcoin stood for. which was a currency that couldn't be manipulated by the governments. Now, I'm not going to talk about the government. This is not the right place for it. Finally, my experience as a tech founder is another event that shaped my life. It made it clear to me that today, if you want to make an impact, right, it's using technology. There is nothing else you can do that can be more impactful that cannot be done or that can be done without technology. And more than ever, blockchain technology. And this is where we are today. I am the co-founder of Takadao, which is a company that embraces community, that puts the community at the forefront to develop technology for people to help other people using the financial tools that we have, i.e. insurance, in a decentralized way, so that even if we, Takadao, mess up, the insurance fund will keep going regardless of what we do. All right, so let me tell you a bit about the insurance industry. So remember, I was going to tell you stories. The insurance industry is a $9 trillion a year annual revenue industry. Now, we're all here, we're all excited. Bitcoin, all-time high, almost 100K. But guess what? We're still a $2 trillion market cap. Insurance alone, $9 trillion in annual revenues. This is not counting how much they control in assets, okay? Despite this, most of the world, as in the majority, more than 51% of the world, is completely uninsured. As in they don't have insurance of any kind. Why? All right, let me tell you though, the origins of insurance, okay? So there's an Arabian version to this story and there's a European version to this story. I'm going to tell you the Arabian one because, we're in Saudi Arabia. So the merchants used to have goods which they will sell from one city to the other city. They use caravans to transport those goods, right? So they have camels, they pull the caravans, and they go from one city to the other city. Now, very often, the camel will die. And they'll have to abandon some goods because, not enough camels to pull the goods, right? Now, there's always a fight, whose goods do we abandon? Because who's going to take the financial hit? So in order not to have these merchants killing each other, because that's what eventually they would do, they all had a pact. And they said, well, if whomever goods we abandon, the rest of us will compensate this guy. And that's how the first insurance was formed. And you can superimpose that into the European version, which is ship merchants. Same story, Lloyd's of London. So it always started as people helping people, right? Cooperative. You have something happens to you, we help you. Something happens to me, you help me. How did insurance become the cutthroat, profit-focused industry it is today? It's actually the birth of mathematics and actuarial sciences. So some geniuses invented what is called today actuarial sciences, which was really a way to say, I can calculate the odds of this event happening, and therefore I can take a bet against it. And when they figured that out, that they have this alpha that they can exploit, they decided, okay, now we can build an insurance company where if something happens to you, I lose money, but if that event doesn't happen because I bet good, you lose money. And that's how insurance became a for-profit industry that it is today. Now, this is a big problem because for-profit industry means that the insurance company and their customers have misaligned interests. Not only that, they're actually betting against each other. So what does that mean? That means that, first of all, an insurance company will never go where it's not profitable to do business, and hence more than half of the world is uninsured. Number two, it's a really bad user experience because every time the insurance company is losing money or cash flow is low, they're going to want to stop paying claims. And the only reason why you would get an insurance policy is because you need your claim to be paid when you need the money. So this is what we're trying to solve at Takadao. We are trying to bring insurance back to the origins of people helping people. The first product that we launched, the LifeDAO, is a life insurance alternative. That means we all pool our money together. If something happens to one person, their family gets a payout. If something happens to another person, their family gets a payout. The money is reinvested to grow the fund to keep it sustainable. Additionally, if there's any surplus, at the end, it's redistributed among the members. What we do at Takadao is to make this possible using smart contracts and crypto. We built the technology to do the underwriting, risk management, pay in, pay out, custody of the funds, everything on smart contracts on the blockchain, totally decentralized. We do not actively manage this. Once the algorithm is deployed, my entire team can disappear tomorrow, snap Thanos, and it will still keep running. We also built another module, what we did at Takadao, for claims management, which makes it decentralized so that the people managing the claims are the members themselves. And this is very important. So we did this very intentionally. We said, we cannot, as Takadao, manage the claims, because if we do, there will be always a temptation to not pay the claims when the money is low. So we said we have to make the technology enable people to do this in a double-blind process so that there's no collusion and that they can contribute to the safety of the network, which is a very blockchain thing. And that's what we do at Takadao. Oops, excuse me. All right, so I come to the sales part of my story. Scan the code. Today, we've launched the LifeDAO. It is a life insurance alternative that is completely decentralized. It is extremely affordable because remember, we're trying to insure the world. We're trying to help people help people. Why is it affordable? Because our cost structure, everything is automated, everything is smart contracts. We don't deal with banks, we deal with crypto and wallets. Our cost structure is something like 5 to 20% of a traditional insurance company. So it gets very cheap. It's also borderless, right? The funny thing about insurance is hyper-global because of regulations. So if you do not live in Saudi Arabia, you cannot get a Saudi insurance company to insure you. But we can extend insurance for anybody around the globe. It doesn't matter where he is or where his beneficiaries are, this can be done. And done easily and without dealing with banks. Again, my favorite part. We also, as we talked about, distribute the surplus of the fund. So if there's any money left over, it gets redistributed to the members, all right? This means we are very, very transparent. How? Because we are distributing the surplus, that means you can actually track all of our volume on chain. And this is extremely important in insurance, where currently you can't even figure out how to get a claim and why do they pay claims and not pay any claims. So this is a very key and important part, especially for you Web3 folks, about the LifeDAO. Now, the part that we've all been waiting for. We have a special, my team put together a very special offer for ETH Riyadh today. All of you in this room, if you had scanned the QR code that was in the previous slide and that will be in the next slide, you will be gifted a complimentary $25 annual membership to the LifeDAO. And this is from us to you. So, and this is a little secret which I will skip. If you want to know more, come and talk to Murad about our revenue share partnership. Today, all I want to leave you with is, when you get home tonight, I want you to join the LifeDAO. It's a little buggy, all right? But most of the time you'll get through. If you have any problems, feel free to reach out to myself, the team, Murad, directly. Take your phones out, take a picture, scan, and we'd love to have your feedback. Any questions? Brian. Brian? Oh. There's nothing here.
Yeah, thank you, Sharene. I have a question regarding, can you share us a little bit, where are the first batch, the seed customers located, and how you go to market to convince them such a innovative approach as compared to traditional insurance product? Thank you.
Okay. I can yell, but I probably won't survive that. I think there's another one here. Oh, no, that's keep it. Thank you. So Brian asked me this question earlier, actually. He was like, who is your core market today? And today, it's really the Sharia sensitive. So we built Takadao to be Sharia compliant and the LifeDAO to address the Muslims around the world. Because we started this business to solve our own problem, right? Because we couldn't get insured. Because 99.99 something percent of insurance in the world is not Sharia compliant. And there are 2 billion Muslims in the world. That's 24% of the population, completely underserved. So the very first kind of beachhead market for us is those who care about Sharia compliance, the 2 billion Muslims around the world. Now, the other thing about how do you convince people to do something like this? Actually, it doesn't take much convincing because people know what insurance is. What they care is, am I going to get paid or not going to get paid? Is it easy to get the policy or is it not easy to get the policy? They don't really care what's in the background. We care because we want to make it cheap and automated and easy and fair and transparent. We want to use crypto. But the people who are buying this, they're just like, it sounds fantastic. I can insure myself. I may be in India or I may be in America. Let me tell you another story, actually, since I have the mic. My friend who lives here in Saudi Arabia, she's an English teacher. She's American. So I asked her, I was like, do you have life insurance? She has 6 grown children, by the way, lots of grandchildren. She was like, no. I'm like, why? She's like, I'm waiting for you guys. I'm like, wait, what? Why? You have insurance in America. She's like, every time I go to America, they say I don't qualify because I'm not resident in America. And I come to Saudi here, and when I buy life insurance, I'm like, who do I put as a beneficiary? All my kids are in America. If something happens to me, how do they come here to get the money? They have no idea. So she was like, I cannot do this. But with the LifeDAO, she can. Because this is all on crypto rails. This is all globally accessible. And this is why we've done what we've done, we've built what we've built. I hope that answers the question. Any other questions? Yes?
How are you dealing with fraud?
So fraud comes out in claims, okay? So we built this claims management system. Now, for the LifeDAO, so I'm going to take the LifeDAO as a use case. We have what is called a double-blind process. So there are up to 8 verifiers who do the job of verification. Now, when you verify a claim, it's all documents. Death certificate, police certificate, what's the other one? Medical certificate, right? So you give each certificate to 2 or 3 verifiers, depending on the type of certificate, and you let them figure out whether it's authentic or not authentic. And then you come together, you collate the results, and you either approve or you deny the claim. Now, obviously, there are also technical red flags, which is if you have a lot of claims coming in at the same time from a particular part of the world, you're flagging those. So we have a 3-stage process. Stage 1, stage 2 are performed by the verifiers who verify the documents and who also physically verify. So they make phone calls to the government, etc. And stage 3 is if we cannot decide, the verifiers cannot decide, not we, sorry, we don't do anything with the claims. If the verifiers cannot decide, we send it to a professional claims company. They create a report, and then the DAO votes on whether to accept the report or not. Any other questions?
Thank you, Sharene.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your attention.